Season of Discovery is back. Yes, Blizzard's wacky classic WoW science experiment that they shoved in the cupboard and ignored for a year is now finding a new lease of life. Once again, the players show that they are the ones who truly appreciate this game, and all it takes is a dedicated group to create an awesome experience for everyone. But how did we get here? How long will this new fresh project last? And most importantly, should you be playing it? Keep watching and I will try to answer these questions and more. Now, ever since the tragic demise of Turtle WoW some weeks ago, never forgive, never forget, I'd been wondering when my next classic adventure would come along and where it would take me. I tried playing Hardcore Classic, safe in the knowledge that my vast experience and high skill level would soon see me reach level 60 unscathed. That worked out about as well as you might imagine. So back to square one, and I was expecting to take yet another long break from the game. After all, as amazing as classic WoW is, there are only so many times you can run Wailing Caverns without having an embolism. But if there's always one thing you can rely upon in classic, it's the ability for groups of players to create their own adventure. It happened before with Hardcore, with the many fresh reruns of classic, and now it's Season of Discovery's turn. Hearing from my friends about a fresh SOD project starting up on the Wild Growth EU server on the 19th of June, I found myself instantly curious, and that surprised me. I had a lot of fun in SOD the first time around, but like many, I would hesitate to call it a truly classic-like experience. Runes, whilst typically fun for most specs, changed combat significantly from the classic norm, and the raiding experience became more challenging than a lot of pug groups were prepared for, especially from Phase 3 onwards. Honestly though, I didn't personally have a problem with most of that stuff. My real gripe with SOD was the lack of new content and the way they handled world content and the message that it sent, that Blizzard didn't really care about going full bore into the project. Which was a shame because there was a lot that I actually liked about SOD. And reflecting back on it after a year or so away, I think it works really well as it was probably initially intended to be. That is, a short, seasonal game mode without unnecessary delays and content droughts. As I said, it was dragged out far too long initially relative to the amount of content the devs actually added to the game. But with this fresh rerun moving through the phases on a weekly basis, you don't notice that at all, and honestly, I could argue that 2 weeks per phase rather than one would be preferable, but that's just me. Leveling is significantly quicker than in the base game due to the Discoverer's Delight buff, which increases overall experience gains by 150%. Now, I get that some people will say that that spoils the nature of Classic, but having leveled characters, especially from 1 to 20, literally dozens if not hundreds of times over the years, I think the buff works brilliantly here as a means of getting you to the point where you can do the group-based content and start to interact with other players. Furthermore, all runes are now available from a vendor at level 1, which removes the purpose of a lot of the open world content SOD introduced, but does make pretty much any new character feel far more interesting than its classic counterpart. And these two changes, the XP buff and rune availability, really do promote creating multiple characters to try out different classes, which is obviously what the devs initially intended with the rune system. So yeah, I was eager to learn more about this fresh SOD project and reassess my mixed opinions of the season, benefiting from that increased pace that would keep the adventure feeling, well, fresh. The 19th of June rolled around and all that was left for me to do was to choose what I was going to play, and in true Vulgrim fashion, I waited until literally the day the project launched to make that decision. Honestly though, there was never any doubt. I played an Enhancement Shaman for most of SOD, preferring the beloved yet admittedly niche two-handed spec. It was probably the most consistent I've been in sticking with one character in WoW for a long time, which probably speaks to how much I enjoyed some of the class design in SOD, at least in this instance. But what is the point of a fresh start if you're gonna just do things the same way? So this time I stepped away from the path of earth, wind and fire and went back to my roots. I embraced my true nature. Heroic, righteous, majestic. Nah, I rolled an undead rogue. And honestly, that was a great choice, because with all my runes at level 1, I quickly fell in love with the class once again. The classic combo point system is absolutely the core of your playstyle still as a rogue, but the various runic abilities and build types complement it so well, in my opinion, that the often energy-starved, frustrating experience of a low-level classic WoW rogue that I'm used to is replaced by this flowing, kinetic combat experience which I really enjoy in Season of Discovery. My personal current playstyle, by no means optimal I'm sure, involves buffing my Sinister Strike with Man Gauche, whilst hurling poison knives on cooldown, leading to frequent 5 combo envenoms and eviscerates. It feels deadly, kinetic, and absolutely in keeping with the theme of the rogue class. Oh yeah, and I've got a Glock now too, it's great. Finally, rogues everywhere can evolve beyond Thief Deadly Shadows and embrace the Tony Soprano era, just like Quasimodo predicted. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I should probably explain a bit more about what this project actually is and how it works for those of you who aren't already back in Season of Discovery, but who may be interested. Because you see, whilst you can of course simply dive back in, this isn't just another wave of returning players to a classic server. There is a structure here if you wish to have it. There are rules you need to follow if you want to really experience the project to the fullest. So this fresh return was all planned and administered by a group of streamers, which I know will have some of you put off straight away. But honestly, it's a great concept and it's being executed really well. I don't have any affiliation with any of these guys, you know me, I'm just here for the ride, but I am enjoying the experience. So if you are one of the big boys running the show and you do see this video, thanks for setting it up, spare a thought. The reason this project works is because this group of streamers all agreed to come back to SOD on the same server, Wildgrowth EU, simultaneously. Their audiences form the core of a number of fresh guilds, which in turn have attracted more players who don't necessarily follow these streamers, but have heard about the project through word of mouth and are joining in on the fun. That includes me. The streamers in question are Guzu, Savix, Joker D, LMGD, Funkers, and Sunglitter. They all have guilds, or more precisely, series of guilds, because of just how many players are getting involved. I'm in one of Guzu's guilds, which are called Fresh, Fresh 2, 3, 4, and so on. I'm in Fresh 5, despite making my rogue the day the project started, and as far as I'm aware, there are 12 or more of these Fresh guilds at this point. And as we're all using the Green Wall add-on, that alone makes for a big group of returning players who all started at the same point in the last week or so, which is great. You can easily find specifics of the project online, but beyond starting simultaneously, these guilds have different rules for the project, and in some cases, no rules at all. So you are flexible as to the experience you can have. My friends and I are playing in Guzu's guild, as I've said, and using his community rules, which I'm very happy with. In a nutshell, the rules are as follows. Leveling is phase locked in line with Season of Discovery's initial phases, but instead of having the long phases that SOD had, including its delays, which were part of the problem, weekly progression is the way it works with this project. In practice, it means that for the first week of the project, which has just come to an end at the point of making this video, you could get to level 25 and then you were expected to talk to an NPC in Orgrimmar and turn off experience gains until Phase 2 unlocked, which occurred on the 29th of June. The next rule is that there is no auction house. Presumably this is to encourage more grouping, more player interaction, and the use of professions, and to prevent people from being able to buy gear other players have farmed who are at level 60, that sort of thing. Mandatory use of the Guild Found add-on. This is to ensure there's no breaking of the above rules, no tampering. And only trading between members of the Fresh Guild. You can't trade with anyone outside of Guzu's guild or Savix and Sunglitter's guild. So these are fairly simple rules, but they actually work really well. I like Guzu's rule system because it's very convenient for anyone who can't play constantly, as with the XP boost, even 1 week is enough for most people to get to max level and at least see the content each phase has to offer, even if, like me, you never get any loot. Seriously, I roll on anything just to find druids and shamans and hunters beat me every time. It needs to be studied at this point. No wonder I'm playing the criminal class when stealing loot appears to be the only viable option for me. Like I said, if these restrictions aren't for you and you just want to enjoy SOD at your own pace, fast or slow, there are several other guilds out there that have few or no rules, such as Joker D's guild, which I believe has no rules. And ultimately, in a few weeks, guilds like mine operating under the leveling restriction system will be at level 60 anyway, so it won't matter too much. So honestly, if you're on the fence, my advice would be to just jump in and give it a go. You may be surprised by how much fun you have. Phase 2 will have just been unlocked around the time that I upload this, but we're still only a week or so into the project and the hype continues to build. And the best point to end this video on is, I think, a reminder once again that this is only happening because of the passion of players. We don't have Classic Plus yet, or even a new season for Classic WoW. We don't even have a confirmed announcement of Classic Plus happening at some point in the future, though I do think that announcement will come eventually, possibly even at BlizzCon this year. For now though, Blizzard continues to vie with Bethesda for game developer least likely to release the game their players actually want. So what do? We make our own fun. We create our own adventures. Though, before I end, I should mention that a new Season of Discovery build has been discovered. So who knows? They've confirmed that they're not launching fresh SOD servers, or at least that's what they say, but maybe they are cooking something over at Blizzard. If so, let's just hope they put a full raid team on it this time, rather than just a 5-man party. Alright guys, that's all for today. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, help spread it around. I'll be making more videos on this fresh SOD project further down the line, but I actually have something else, something very special, lined up in the near future to share with you, so stay tuned. But till then, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in SOD very soon. Bye bye.